Ellport Boro 5K this morning. Finished second overall, 17:23:85, I believe is what my time was. And then the first place kid, young kid from St. Mary's, I can't remember his name, finished in 17:16. It was a hell of a battle most of the race. I would say after a half mile, we battled the rest. It's a fun race. There's a lot of turns, so it keeps it, what I want to say, fresh. It's not like an out and back, or it doesn't have tons of long straight stretches where your mind starts to go about your breathing, your leg fatigue, you know, anything else that might be going on, like an injury or anything like that. With all the turns during the race, you never really got a chance to think about any of that stuff. So your mind and body stayed fresh and focused because you had to pay attention to the turns. But we had a police vehicle lead us, so we really didn't have to worry about it too much where all the turns were. There's also orange cones on the side of the road where the turns were, with a couple orange arrows pointing in the right direction. When I drove it and videoed it afterwards, it was easy to follow because the cones and stuff were still up. So if you weren't in a visual sight, or if we didn't have the police escort to lead us, I think we would have been fine the way it was set up. But again, it's always nice to have that police escort, so it just puts your mind more at ease that you're going the right way and you don't have to worry about anything, and it doesn't fatigue you as much because, you know, your adrenaline and second guessing yourself the whole time. So it takes a lot of pressure off, at least for the front runners, and then everybody else from there on back, you know, could see somebody in front of you theoretically. So it helps everybody else after that. So I guess everybody in the end has the same advantage, because if you're in the lead, you got the lead vehicle, and if you can't see the lead vehicle, at least you should be able to see somebody in front of you showing you the right way. So it's, I guess in reality, it's a level playing field for everybody and whatnot. But we started the community building, like right in front of it, there's a stop sign. I think we started like 2 feet back. Looked like there were some fast young kids there. And I know they were advertised beforehand, 150 bucks for a course record, so I expected some kids wanting to come in and try to take it. There's also cash prizes for like 70 plus in 3 different categories. I think they had like over 460 bucks split up. I don't know how they split it up or did it, but that was really cool that they had cash awards just for people in those age brackets, because you really don't ever see that. So I appreciate that, them having the opportunity to do that, because most times it's just catered to like the really fast people. So it was nice to go to a race where they cater the more experienced, I don't want to say older, I want to say more experienced runners. But so we took off. A couple kids, younger kids, took off right away, and I was like, all right, just hang back a little bit. Don't get them out of sight. Just hang back, let them do their thing, and just gauge, you know, their ability right away and see what they're capable of. Because you don't know if they're going to sprint right away and just die 20 yards into it, or if they're capable of throwing down a really good time and holding on to that pace. So I hung back a few seconds, just watched them, see what they were doing with their feet and their legs. I think at like 3/10 in, I caught the one kid in the white shirt. And then it was just me and the kid who won after that. He had maybe 10 yards after I passed the kid in the white shirt. And then I just slowly closed the gap after that on him. I didn't push where I was redlining the whole time, but I was in that high zone 4 echelon, teetering right on that red line is where I usually run my 5Ks. For some reason, I just don't ever do that red line anymore where I'm going like a full-on dead sprint. I don't know. I think just because I'm on that, teetering on that edge the whole time, I can't find that extra red line the whole time and kick at the end of the race. So I got to work on that. But getting back to the race, you know, as I closed the gap, I was thinking to myself, I was like, all right, watch him, watch his feet, watch his body language, see what's going on, and see if he's just going to fade, or if he has some surge in him, or if he's just, you know, letting me catch up a little bit so he can relax and catch his breath. You know, all those things go through my head as I'm paying attention. And then I was drafting off of him a little bit. A couple of times I got up like right beside him on an angle, was going to pass him. Then he would surge a little bit. I thought for a while, I was like, if you could find a couple extra gears, just keep surging past him, and see if you could burn him out. But I just kept gradually catching back up to him, drafting him, going beside him, and whatnot for most of the race. I know I passed him a couple times. I was ahead of him a couple times, but he would always pass me right back up. I know going into the park, that one downhill, if you watch the video of the actual race course, he really did gap me maybe 15 yards going down. I just didn't want to throw the hammer down on the downhill, and then all that impact being on my legs ruined me later on. But I caught right back up to him as soon as we hit the flat. So there was really only a couple seconds where he had a huge gap. Most of the time I was within 3 feet of him, if not within like a foot of his ass the whole time. Just drafting and, you know, waiting to pick my moments up where I went around him. A few times I did feel like as I was passing, he did cut me off, whether it was intentional or not. I just felt like he shifted a little bit. But I also think the way he took the corners and angled himself seemed like he knew the course. Don't know if he did or not, but just the angles he was taking before the turns would even come, and even the police vehicle, you know, making a turn signal or anything like that, were just so sufficient. It was, to me, he knew the course. Again, I could be wrong, but if he did, it was a huge advantage, so he could plan a little bit. But if not, damn, he's pretty proficient in knowing what's going on ahead of time. Anyway, what I did notice while racing him is when he surged, I could feel it. I haven't felt that from people before. Like, I could just feel his energy start to gear up as he put on like a little surge. It wasn't like it's an explosive surge, like go from like that high 4 to like a red line 5. It wasn't one of those type surges. It was just like a buildup of energy that he just gradually was releasing and increasing his speed. And I know that sounds weird that I could actually feel that, but I kid you not, I could feel his surge when he was doing them. So it sort of gave me a little bit of like a heads up that he was surging. So I was, you know, trying to match it a little bit. I know he did slow down a few times, and that's when I was going around him. But again, like, I could just feel him surging every time he put on a little one. And so I had to match it. I didn't have no huge surge to throw down, so I couldn't really just take the lead and just like push from there on. I just had those small surges as well. But as we battled and I hung back behind him, I was trying to pick my moment, when I was going to attack, if he was going to fade, those type of things. I did pick those couple moments that I did pass him. I was like, all right, we'll see what happens here. And then he would just put on that surge, and you could just feel it, like even from behind me, as he would come and like swing and slingshot around me. Like, I could just feel his energy as he goes around me. I was like, all right, we'll have to try that again. Then I was thinking at 2.5, you know, maybe pull back a little bit, gain some energy, and then just try to throw down from the like at 2.7, 2.8. But I wasn't too sure of how many turns we had, so I didn't want to surge and like redline it all and then have to do like a quick turn. So that was sort of keeping me back a little bit, because if you do a surge and you go like full blown like redline and then you have to make like a sharp turn or two, you're just basically killing yourself, because you're gonna your energy's just gonna go right away from those surges because of the sharp turns. So that's a little bit of a piece of advice if anybody wants anything like that. I wouldn't recommend throwing down like a huge red line surge close to an end of a race if you know there's going to be some sharp turns. Because when you sharp turn, you just, the way you turn your body and your gear, legs, feet, whatever, all your mechanics switch, which is just going to cause you to sort of lose that. Whether people will admit that or not, it happens. It's not so bad on like S turns or snaky, windy ones, but those sharp, you know, quick 90-degree, or, you know, even what like turns that make you go like diagonally behind you. Those are when you really notice the loss on a surge. So you do have to play with that, know the course a little bit if you put that in your planning. So I was waiting to about like 2.8, 2.7, 2.8, and I was going to do one. I started it up. It was getting ready to pass him, and he must have felt me, because then he put on one, because I felt his energy start to build up and give off that energy, and then he just got a second or two ahead of me. And as we were coming in the finish line, I was like, well, I don't have any kind of gear surge or anything to really give. So I just kept my momentum at the time, and then I ended up finishing like 7 seconds behind him, which in reality should only been 1 or 2 seconds behind him. I personally think I should have PR'd the course. If I knew the course, how to attack it, the way I was running today and using him, I should have been able to PR, and I definitely should have wanted to do that. But my plan going in was just to run as fast as I had to win, and only use as much energy as I needed to. When I was coming in, even at the start, felt a little groggy and tired, and my legs definitely weren't fresh today. I'll get to that in a second, but I wasn't really energized even at the start. I didn't have my adrenaline flowing, my testosterone flowing. I wasn't mentally checked in. All those factors as well. But you might say, would that have held you back? Would you have burned up if you did it? I tend to say no, because I would have used those to my advantage. But again, it's always race by race how that plays out. If you actually have enough adrenaline, testosterone, and proper mindset to carry you for a full race, no matter what the distance. And I did start a little bit slower than sprinting out the gate, but that actually probably helped me more save energy and not burn up, because I didn't start on a dead sprint and then ended up breathing heavy and my heart rate quicker. So that might have been a smarter decision. Who knows? The reason why I say I wasn't fresh is this weekend's the David Goggins 4x4x48 challenge. I had no intent of doing it this weekend, but then yesterday I did 4 miles when I got home from work at 5, and our power went out at like 6. I just got pissed, and I was like, you know what, might as well do it this weekend. I'm off for 3 days, so give it a go to say you did it at least one time. So I ended up doing I actually started my second at 10 and not 9 o'clock, but then I woke up at 1 a.m., did 4 around town. When I woke up at 5, it was still like pouring down rain and the wind was gusting. And after running it in that at 1 o'clock, I was just like, I ain't doing this bullshit again with no power, because my plan was, when I decided to do it, the power would be back on. I could do some treadmill miles inside and be warm and actually take warm showers in between sessions. Since we still don't have power, I just said screw it. So I didn't really get great sleep last night. My legs weren't fresh coming in. That's probably why I was groggy and a little sluggish on the way down to the race and even at the race start, because I was gonna attempt that. So I was more of an endurance mindset. And again, I ran 1 o'clock in the morning, woke up at 5 to run some more, but I was also gonna run at 11 o'clock the Cranberry 5K, or Shamrock 5K in Cranberry, Graham Park or something, and then come do this race. That was my plan, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do the challenge right. But I sort of threw that out the window when it was so shitty this morning, and it sort of just threw off my whole nutrition and my sleep, because not being able to eat my normal food this morning or get even like solid like 4 or 5 hours of sleep just threw me off. So I think everything would have went right and I planned it right, and this was a good race, I would have PR'd, but I can't complain because it was so fun racing that kid today and battling him the whole time. I mean, I wish I would have won, would have made the experience a lot better, but that was the only real knock I have, is I didn't win. But other than that, it was really fun, and I can't tell you the last time I had that much fun battling somebody back and forth and just feeling the energy. It's definitely going to make me a lot better this year, and it kind of puts me at ease to where my training's at right now, because honestly, coming in, I didn't think it was possible to me to throw down a 17. If you would have asked me, I would have said maybe like an 18:30, 18:45 at best. Plus, I also feel fat. I didn't really like poop as much as I normally do because of the way I ate yesterday for the Goggins thing. Everything just felt off. So it happens. But yeah, I guess with the training that I've been doing, I'm very happy where I'm at least this week. Maybe it was one of those things, my body was just in such a shitty disarray. It said, hey, you're gonna run fast because we want to get it done and over with. I know that's happened before. I don't think that was the case. I just think what I've been doing in training with all the running and biking is actually paying off. I need another race to justify saying that. But 17:23, when I don't even redline at all and multiple factors worked against me, I would take that any day in any race this year. So yeah, I think that's about it. The words are cool. Let me see if I can show you real quick. Got a little snowman. There's Pizza Joe's Pizza. They had veggie, supreme, and pepperoni. That was pretty good pizza. It was a pretty good crowd as well. Nice group of people. So if you get a chance, come do it next year. I don't think you'll be disappointed. The only disappointment, well, I guess the second disappointment was the drive. Again, it took me like an hour and 40 minutes to get here this morning. So it is kind of long for most people for a 5K, but I would say it's worth it. Other people might disagree, but you know, if I'm saying it's worth it, it is. It's timed by Smiley Miles, so it's chip timed on your bib. I don't know. I guess I'm done. I'm just happy I came. I'm happy with my time. Sad I finished second. But again, all things considered, damn good time.